Have you ever sat down to study for 3 hours, only to realize you spent most of that time procrastinating and scrolling through your phone? If so, you're not alone. Our brains are naturally wired to be a bit lazy. This is a classic example of Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time you allow for it. So if you give yourself a huge 3-hour window, your brain will find ways to fill it with distractions. But what if I told you there's a simple fix? Instead of telling yourself, I have to study for 3 whole hours, try saying, I'll just study for 20 minutes. See what a difference that makes. When the goal is small and manageable, your brain doesn't put up as much resistance. It feels easy, so you're more likely to start. And the funny thing is, once you get started, you'll often find yourself in the zone and continue studying for much longer, without feeling overwhelmed or burned out. Now, let's talk about how to learn fast and effectively. Like a genius. It's not about having a super high IQ. It's about how you process information. The legendary Albert Einstein once said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. This is the core of the Feynman technique. The next time you're learning a new concept, imagine you have to explain it to a 5-year-old. You'd have to use simple words and clear analogies. Right? Try it. Grab a piece of paper and write down your explanation. Whenever you get stuck or have to use complicated jargon, that's your signal. It means you haven't fully grasped that part of the material yet. Go back, review it, and then try to simplify your explanation even more. This method forces you to truly understand the subject from the ground up, instead of just memorizing a bunch of facts and definitions that you'll forget right after the exam. Speaking of remembering, how do you make information stick? Most of us are guilty of passively rereading our notes over and over again. We think that by looking at the information enough times, it'll magically transfer into our long-term memory. But research shows this is one of the least effective ways to study. The secret to remembering faster and longer is a technique called active recall. It's simple but incredibly powerful. After you study a topic, close your book, put away your notes, and try to recall the key points from memory. Write them down. What were the main ideas, the key formulas, the important dates? It's going to feel harder than rereading, and that's a good thing. That struggle is what burns the information into your brain's neural pathways. You can also use flashcards, but here's the key. Don't just flip them over and read the back. Look at the prompt and actively try to recall the answer before you check. Testing yourself like this is so much more effective than passive review. You'll be amazed at how much more you remember. Have you ever noticed that you get an almost superhuman level of focus right before a big deadline? Suddenly, distractions disappear, and you're completely locked in. That's your brain responding to urgency. The good news is, you don't have to wait for a last-minute panic to harness this power. You can create your own sense of urgency by studying in focused intervals. This is often called the Pomodoro technique. Set a timer for, say, 30 minutes. And commit to studying with intense focus during that time, as if it's an emergency and the deadline is in half an hour. No phone, no social media, just pure focus. When the timer goes off, you've earned a break. Take 5 minutes to get up, walk around, stretch, or even scroll through your phone. Then, repeat the cycle. This method keeps your brain fresh and focused, prevents burnout, and helps you avoid that state of fake studying where you're just staring blankly at a page without absorbing anything. Now, let's talk about working smarter, not harder. It's easy to feel like you have to learn everything, but that's a trap that leads to wasted time and stress. The truth is, not all information is created equal. This is where the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto principle, comes in. It states that for many things, roughly 80% of the results come from only 20% of the effort or input. In studying, this means that about 80% of what you'll be tested on likely comes from just 20% of the course material. Your job is to identify that crucial 20%. How? Start by reviewing past exams to see what kind of questions are asked most often. Don't be afraid to ask your teacher or professor, what are the most important concepts we should focus on for the upcoming test? A pro tip from A+ students is to take a practice test * before * you even start studying. This immediately reveals your weak spots and highlights the key areas that you need to master. By focusing your energy on what truly matters, you optimize your study time and ensure you're well prepared for the most important content. Finally, all these speed studying tricks are useless if your brain isn't in the right condition to process and store information. Here's a crucial fact. Learning doesn't happen when you're staring at the book. The real consolidation of knowledge, where it moves from short-term to long-term memory, happens while you sleep. Pulling an all-nighter before an exam is one of the worst things you can do. You might feel like you're cramming, but you're actually sabotaging your brain's ability to retain information. Aim for a solid 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. It's not a luxury. It's a vital part of the learning process. Exercise also plays a huge role. You don't need to run a marathon. Even a short walk can boost blood flow to the brain and improve memory and cognitive function. So let's quickly recap the 6 smart study steps. 1. Use a timer to create focus and break down large tasks. 2. Actively teach or test yourself instead of passively rereading. 3. Study in short, intense bursts with breaks to prevent fatigue. 4. Apply the 80-20th rule to focus on the most important material. 5. Identify your knowledge gaps with practice tests before you dive deep. And 6. Prioritize sleep and exercise to help your brain perform at its best. When you study correctly, you not only learn faster, but remember longer, which is the ultimate goal. Thank you so much for watching. If you found these tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more content to help you learn smarter. Let me know in the comments which tip you're going to try first. See you in the next one.